Most commercial safaris feel like a guided tour through a highly controlled environment. Manas operates on a completely different frequency. It is a raw, thick, and demanding ecosystem pushed right up against the foothills of the Himalayas. This graphic illustrates exactly why conservationists revere this territory. It holds 4 distinct international designations simultaneously: a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a tiger reserve, an elephant reserve, and a biosphere reserve. Holding those titles creates a massive logistical draw. When you arrive at the main entry points, you immediately hit heavy crowds and administrative choke points. Once you clear those gates, the terrain is unforgiving. You are subjected to deeply rutted tracks, geographical isolation, and layers of choking dust that coat everything in your vehicle. This creates a strict dilemma for anyone planning a trip here. You want to experience a highly active, transboundary wildlife corridor, but you have to figure out how to do it without turning your vacation into an exhausting endurance test. That specific problem is what the Disha Air Khoje Premium 4-day itinerary was designed to solve. We are going to deconstruct the exact mechanics of this package to see what you are actually paying for and determine exactly which type of traveler can justify the cost. Accessing Manas requires a tactical investment in logistics to handle the physical demands of this environment. To understand the logistics, you have to understand the map. Manas is split into 3 distinct zones that do not connect internally. You have to exit the park and drive the highway to reach the next gate, making each entry a completely separate expedition. If you enter the western Panbari zone, your entire focus shifts upward. This sector is heavily wooded, and your primary target is primate life hidden high up in the dense canopy. That requires a specific trade-off. You have to commit to long periods of silence, staring up through the leaves, which means you are actively sacrificing time you could be spending scanning the ground for predators. The payoff for that patience is a chance to track the Golden Langur, a highly endangered species that relies on this specific canopy to survive. Switch over to the eastern Bhuyanpara zone, and the environment aggressively changes. The dense trees break apart into massive, sun-baked grasslands. You come to Bhuyanpara for the heavy mammals. The wide open space is optimal to intercept massive herds of wild Asian elephants moving across the plains. But your success here is entirely dictated by the calendar. Your visibility relies heavily on the height of the grass and whether the park management has completed their controlled, seasonal burns. If the conditions are right, Bhuyanpara also gives you access to one of the rarest avian targets in the region, the critically endangered Bengal Florican. Getting deep enough into the plains to spot one means riding out heavy vibrations over rutted tracks while breathing in whatever dust the vehicle in front of you kicks up. You aren't handed sightings on a silver platter here. You are sacrificing the easy, guaranteed photo ops of commercial parks for the reward of genuine, hard-earned tracking. The centerpiece of this specific itinerary is the core safari launching from the Bansbari gate. It takes a full day to complete. This is where the physical toll peaks. You are committing to 8 to 10 continuous hours exposed to the elements in an open 4x4 Jeep. As you push north through the jungle, the terrain opens up at the Mathangori gate, running right along the edge of the Beaky River. From there, you seamlessly cross the international border into Bhutan's Royal Manas National Park. The animals don't recognize the political boundaries, allowing the ecology to flow freely between the 2 countries. Deep inside this corridor, the encounters escalate. The brush is thick enough that you can suddenly find your vehicle face-to-face with a one-horned rhino, an animal known for its unpredictable charging behavior. And if your guides know exactly where to look in the dense undergrowth, you might intercept the pygmy hog, an ultra-rare mammal that most tourists never even realize is there. Surviving a run this steep requires strict protocols. If you don't bring heavy sun protection and serious dust masks, the environment will break you down long before the day is over. It is an absolute endurance test. But in exchange for that discomfort, you get unfiltered access to a totally untouched international ecosystem. So how do you actually recover from an 8-hour high-dust expedition and wake up ready to do it again? This diagram maps the Disha or Khoje approach. It positions professional guides and private transit as a filter, protecting your physical state while maximizing time spent in the core jungle zones. That shielding starts with your transit between the disconnected park zones. Instead of relying on shared open-air transport, you move in a private temperature-controlled vehicle, letting you breathe filtered air and physically reset between deep jungle runs. It also replaces guesswork with precision. By anchoring the trip with expert local naturalists, you stop driving blindly and dramatically increase your mathematical probability of spotting those rare endemics. And for your actual recovery, the itinerary secures your placement at the Musa Jungle Retreat, strategically positioned right outside the Bansbari gate. You get high-end, standalone bungalow cottages. Having a private veranda creates a secure, highly comfortable zone to process the physical toll of the day, but it still respects the location. You won't find modern distractions like big-screen TVs in the room. The retreat intentionally forces you to disconnect and stay integrated with the biosphere. The premium price point covers the logistical armor needed to comfortably navigate and conquer a punishing environment. A trip to Manas requires you to make a choice. You have to decide if you are willing to trade the easy predictability of a high-traffic park for a raw, exclusive wilderness. If we look at the persona scorecard here, the first profile to explicitly avoid this trip is the checkbox tourist. If your priority is easy logistics and checking off animals from a list, this will frustrate you. The foliage is thick. If you want to track a tiger here, you have to work for it, and you won't get a perfectly manicured setup for a quick selfie. The scorecard flags the DIY backpacker. Winging transit between disconnected zones and managing international border protocols manually leads to heavy fatigue. The exact match is the Wilderness Purist. It's built for travelers tracking rare endemics who understand the necessity of premium recovery. It balances an uncompromised, aggressive eco-adventure with elite, reliable hospitality to keep you rested and safe. Have patience for real tracking? Check the link in the description to see complete dates and details for the Disha or Khoje Premium Expedition. Taking on the 4 global crowns is demanding, but with the right logistical shield in place, it becomes one of the most rewarding wildlife achievements you can put on your passport.